Terry, welcome to Monday. Look what we
Hey,
did, baby. Number
yeah,
one,
that's it.
little HRT action, ready to go. So we got
Yeah,
here going, we got the picks going, we got everything going today, Terry.
that's right. That's right.
I have to say, I love the way it looks, to be honest. I think it looks, when I got it, looks pretty good. The only thing I'd like to see maybe is a little bit of the patch to be a little bit thicker. But
Uh-huh.
outside of that, that stuff looks fantastic, I think. And then, of course, we got the numbers on the back. I don't know how good I am at putting that around. But can you see the number one?
Oh yeah, I can see it really well.
Yeah. So when you're at the track, there's no question people are going to know what the hell you're wearing, and they're going to ask you, where the heck did you get it from? Right, Terry?
That's right. Absolutely. So,
Pretty interesting weekend of racing. That 50-point race over there at Oaklawn Park. Was the Rebel Stakes, where you had that 75 to 1 shot win. And if you watch the show on Thursday or Friday or Saturday with Vic Stauffer, you'll notice that myself and Tom actually had that horse in our picks.
yes, you did. I think Tom had it third, and you had it fourth, and then the horses that run second and third were my second and third picks. So there you go.
Yes, indeed. I was hoping they would DQ that 10 horse, because then the 9 would have popped in there for second place and got the exacta. But
Yeah.
I'll take a $75 winner in my top 4 picks. You don't get too many of those in your top 4 picks.
No, and I think he paid more than 75, didn't he?
Well, 75 to 1, so it was like
Yeah.
150 some odd dollars in terms of that.
Yeah.
But I think the rain probably and the wet track probably messed that up a little bit. Then we came back yesterday because we did something a little bit different, you and I, and we did the races at Sunland Park for our Saturday stakes. Turned out to be Sunday stakes. And again, if you looked at our top 4 picks, Terry, I think we both had in our top 4 picks not the superfecta, but the pick 4 that paid over $600 for 50 cents.
We did. Absolutely. You had a really nice pick that first leg. Paid like 15 something, I think. And then I think the next leg, we both had the top pick. It was a really good day. We had some nice exactas and trifectas. And yeah, if you just took the 4 picks, all 4 races, that would have cost you 128. You would have won 600 something.
Yeah, if you did it twice, once for you and once for me, right?
Right.
So hopefully today we can do a little bit of the same, Terry, at Fairgrounds Racetrack. That's where we are to start this Monday. The Monday before Fat Tuesday, Terry. I'm not looking forward to No Meat Fridays. That's not a lot of fun. I want to say thanks to Jay Marco and Israel Villarreal for giving us the thumbs up. If you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us as well on Instagram, all at Horse Race Today. That's Horse Race, the number 2, and then day. We'd appreciate that help. The more likes we get, the more thumbs we get, including here at YouTube at Racing Radar TV. The higher up we go up the algorithms. You ready to get cracking with today's picks, Terry?
I am. I'm ready.
All right, let's get going. So Fairgrounds Race 1 is 1 mile on the main track. The track, from what I see, is fast. The turf is firm. It's supposed to be a nice day down there in Louisiana. So at 1 mile on a fast dirt track, Terry, we've had 40 races, 28 of them won by speed, 18 of which went wire to wire. And there is absolutely an inside-out bias. And Terry, the closest thing that you have to an inside horse is your last pick.
That's correct. But anyway, I like the number 5 to start with, Grand Priority. He finished in the money 6 out of 8 times at the fairgrounds, winning one of those races, and he finished third versus similar in his last race. The trainer wins 25% of the races when he goes from a sprint to a route.
Mm-hmm.
Then number 9, Mr. Valentine. Finished third versus similar in the last race at the fairgrounds and improved his speed rating in the last 3 races in a row. Then number 10, Masada, has the highest last speed rating, highest speed rating figure at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He does have a good workout on February 19th at 48 and some change, breezing, 10 best out of 85. And then the rail horse, number 1, We Need a 5. The rail's winning at a 19% clip, and this horse drops in class today.
So I like Grand Priority as a top pick today too. Was a favorite last time out for trainer Brett Calhoun, who followed up a beaten favorite 59 out of the last 227 times, ended that up in the winner's circle, so rebounded nicely. Does own the fastest fractions that any horse has produced for a quarter mile in any race in the last 10, so has an opportunity to get out to the front. Had some really nice late pace improvement in its last. Number one, We Need a Five. There aren't a lot of really what we call type E horses here, and those are the ones that need the early lead. Number one, We Need a Five is a type E horse. Inside Speed has the second best early pace figures here, and it's just one of two horses that's taking a small drop. Ran for 21 grand last time out, running for just 17 this time. Number 10, Musada. If it were not for the outside post, I would consider making this horse my top pick. I think it could take the lead without really going too fast. It does have the top early pace numbers, but you got that one to its inside and a couple of others that are going to make it difficult for the 10 to get the lead easy, I think. But 4 consecutive speed figure increases suggest the horse is definitely trending north. And then finally, number 9, Mr. Valentine. That's some really good form in the last 2, winning its last race by 3 3/4 lengths. And usually a horse follows up a big race with another. You saw some late pace improvement last time out against a slower than average pace. So when a horse can close into a slow pace, it's usually a good sign. I don't know how fast the pace is going to be today, so he'll need to kind of repeat that effort this time around. Race number 2 is a 5.5 furlongs, allowance $49,000 race. And at 5.5 furlongs, they have run only 6 races, 50-50 in terms of bias, half speed, half closers or stalkers. 2 of the 3 went wire to wire. So I guess if you're going to win, you probably want to be on the front if you're a speed horse. And then if you look at the post position bias, so only 6 races, so really not a big data set. But so far, 0 for 6 from the rail. 4 through 7 have outperformed the 8 horse and out, which the outside horses have outperformed posts 2 and 3. Terry, I think, this race should be kind of interesting. I have a horse in here you don't even have as my top pick.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I like to start out with in this second race. I like the number 5 horse, Galaxy 36. She won 2 races in a row at the fairgrounds, and she has finished in the money in both races at today's distance, winning one of those contests. And then I like number 1, Strong Beauty. Finished third versus Tougher on the dirt in the last race and finished in the money in all of the last 6 races, winning 2 of those races. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, and a good workout on February 18th. And then number 2, Snowball. Finished third versus Tougher on the dirt in the last race, likes the track and distance, earned the highest last speed rating and drops in class today. And then number 4, Fame Feather. Has not raced since last July, but has a high percentage winning trainer and who wins 26% of the races after his horse has had a 90-plus day break. Her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a good workout on February 17th.
I'm going to take a little bit of a flyer here, or a chance here at the top of this race. 5.5 furlongs. There's not a lot of early pace in this race, so the 6 horse, Candace's Handmaid, could get an easy lead without really running crazy fractions. Did run some of the best opening quarter mile fractions last time out. And that is for the horse that has the top early pace numbers in this field, and taking a drop from $100,000 down to $49,000. So if the 6 horse Candace's Handmaid can get the lead and run some pretty reasonable fractions and make it away with 22.5, 23 on that opening quarter, it might be very difficult to catch. Number 2, Snowball, just missed at $125,000 out last time, and in doing so ran a speed figure above par, and the resume says the horse likely will improve in its second race off a layoff. Number 1, Strong Beauty, does have the fastest quarter mile fractions out of any horse in this field, coming off a little bit of a layoff. Last time it ran was on December 30th, but tends to run pretty well fresh, and has 17 furlongs of okay workouts. Not blistering fast, but enough workouts there that the horse should be fit, firm, and ready to go. And then number 5, Galaxy 36. Horses put together 2 wins in a row. I'm a little bit concerned that it showed some regression last time out across the board on the 2 furlong, the 4 furlong numbers, the late pace numbers, and maybe the horse peaked 2 races back. So I'm a bit concerned about that 5 horse. Off to the 3rd race we go, and race number 3 is a 6 furlong race claiming $7,500, non-winners of 2 lifetime. And the profile of a winner of a 6 furlong race were unlike the 5.5 furlong race on turf. This 6 furlong race on dirt, they've run a lot of them, 179 of them. 129 of them were won by horses that were 1st, 2nd, or 3rd to quarter-mile marker, 70 of which went wire to wire. And here we see a very strong inside 3 bias. And then if you get an 8 or out, you actually end up like a hockey player in the penalty box. How do you stack them for race number 3?
Well, I'll tell you, I like number 5, Chairman Moo. Ran 2nd in his last race at today's distance, receiving the highest last race speed rating. This trainer wins 24% of the time of the races when he's in the 2nd race after claiming a horse. And this horse has a good workout of 48-2 breezing 4 furlongs. Number 7, Perfect Prodigy.
Perfect something, right? See, number 7, let's go. I'm already up to race number. It is Perfect Perigee.
Perigee, yeah. That's like Parageet. Anyway, won his last race at the fairgrounds and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 4, Pure Valor. Tried turf last race and did not perform very well and is now back to the dirt, which he seems to like better. The trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 2 races. And then number 3, Flying Curlin, should improve while returning to the dirt. Drops in class today. Trainer wins 28% of the races when he's dropping 2 classes down, which his horse is doing. And his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a good workout on February 17th.
So Perfect Perigee is a head away from winning its last 2 races. And today catches a little bit of a weight break with a horse that does have some early pace. So a little bit of a weight break should be enough to hopefully carry the horse's speed all the way to the finish line. Did run some of the fastest quarter-mile fractions in its last spot. Pure Valor has the top early pace numbers, that's the 4, by a wide margin. Has a big-time 2 furlong improvement in its last race and does own the fastest quarter-mile fractions any horse in this group has been able to produce. Number 5, Chairman Moo. Did run the top last race speed figure. This is a horse I think could struggle to win without the lead. And I think it could struggle to get the lead today because I feel like there's a couple of horses in here that might be a little quicker out of the gates. Horses making its 2nd start off a bench and or 2nd start off the bench and 2nd start off the claim for trainer Joseph Foster. And he's won 9 of the last 37 times he's brought a horse out to the track the 2nd time off a claim. And then my final pick, like yours, number 3, Flying Curlin is making its 3rd start off a layoff. Kind of unanswered questions there because the horse has had a really hard time making it past 1 race at a time before heading off to the barn. So really difficult to gauge what to expect today. Horse does have the top pedigree in the field, but he really hasn't used that. So he's run 10 times with a win and a 3rd. And nothing else to show in those 10 races. So I'm a little bit concerned. Something new out of this horse. And then, again, that failed record so far. Tonight, Terry, we're going to have a really special guest on the Horse Center show with Sean.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with his name, jockey Julie Crone.
Yes, very good jockey. She did very well. Yeah, I like her interviews in the past, so this should be really good. I'm really looking forward to it.
As are we. That'll be on starting tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can catch that on Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube. If you're watching YouTube, subscribe. When we go live, you'll be notified. If you're on Facebook, give us a thumbs up or a like. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram. And our Swiss Army Sean will let you know when we're about to go live with jockey Julie Crone. And of course, it's an open forum, as you know, Terry. So if you have questions for Julie, something you want to know, hop on the comment section, fire a question at her, and we'll get it answered. Right?
All
We
right.
always do that, right, Terry?
That's right.
So we're off to race number 4, Terry. And race number 4 is my box it up. And that's when we take one horse, 4 horses, a 50-cent, $1 exacta box, Monday morning, I'm all confused, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. I picked this race because I feel like it's probably the most wide open. It's a maiden claiming 50,000, 1 mile on the turf. And if we look so far at 1 mile on the turf races, there have only been 10 of them. 7 of them were won by horses that were speed horses, only one of which went wire to wire. And then if you look at the post positions, 1 through 7 play pretty fair, and there's only a tiny penalty if you get a number 8 or higher on your silks or on your apron, right? Number 5, Spooky Road is my top choice in this pick. Does have the top early pace numbers, is making a Tom Carley drop. That maiden special weight, 46,000, and maiden claiming, still a pretty big drop in terms of claiming races or maiden races. Did have the fastest quarter mile fractions a horse in this field's been able to create. And I like the fact that you have a speed horse with an aggressive rider in Deshaun Parker. Number 1, Allocate, showed some really nice 2 and 4 furlong improvement in its last race. I like to see that going into the third start off the bench. And this horse owns the top early pace and late combination by a little, but that late pace number by a lot. Number 3, Classy Miss, did have the top last race speed figure. It's another one making that same Tom Carley drop, maiden special weight down to maiden claiming. Another one that showed some early race improvement and is making its third start off a bench. And finally, number 8, Most Impressive, showed speed in the mud, which can translate nicely to turf, has the top pedigree, and this one's making the biggest drop of all. Last time out ran for maiden special weight, 84,000, down the maiden claiming this time around. And I also consider it a track drop because Most Impressive ran last time out at Oaklawn Park, and today maybe slight drop to Fairgrounds. Terry, do you think that the Fairgrounds, the Oaklawn to Fairgrounds drop is a track drop or not?
No, I think it's about even, to tell you the truth, as far as I'm concerned. Fairgrounds gets some pretty good horses there. And
They
so
do.
does Oaklawn.
But I noticed that the Oaklawn horses tend to do better in the bigger races.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, well, for this race, this is really an odd race because there's no horse in here that's either ran on the turf or performed very well on the turf. So having said that, you'll see that my top pick, you don't even have. And then number 8 that you like, I don't have. So anyway, number 7, Be Right. That's a horse that at least has shown it might do well on the turf while returning to the turf. And the trainer wins 21% of the time when maiden claiming races. And then number 5, Spooky Road, ran second versus Tougher on the dirt in the last race. Drops in class today. Best turf speed is fastest among today's starters, which doesn't really mean much because there's only been 2 or 3 of them that did that. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and the trainer wins 26% of the time when going from a maiden to maiden claiming. Number 1, Allocate, ran second versus Similar on the dirt in his last race. Trainer wins 35% of the time when using second time Lasix, which that's what's happening with Allocate. And then number 3, Classy Miss, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, drops in class today. The dam has 1 winner from 3 starters, and one of those was a turf winner. And the trainer wins 17% of the time the first time he runs a horse in a route.
Race number 5 is back to 6 furlongs on the dirt. Optional claiming $20,000. Just a real quick recap on the profile of a winner of a 6 furlong dirt races. 179 of them, 129 won by horses that are first, second, or third at the quarter mile marker, 70 of which went wire to wire. And you got a very strong inside bias here for race number 5 that closes out the early pick 4. How are you going to close out the early pick 4, Terry?
Well, I'm going to do it with number 3, Creole Charlie. Won 3 out of the last 5 races, finishing third in the last race, finished in the money 8 out of the 8 races at the fairgrounds. So he likes that track, winning 3 of those races. Number 6, Shell, won
Schnell.
2 races.
That means
Schnell.
fast in German. Schnell,
Yeah.
mach schnell,
Schnell.
as my
Yeah.
grandfather used to tell me.
I
Riech,
should
mach schnell.
I should ask my wife because both her parents were from Germany. So
Mhm.
anyway, this horse won 2 races in a row at the fairgrounds, and now it's going for a hat trick. And the trainer wins 27% of the time and bringing a winner of its last race back to compete again. And it has a really good workout of 48.3 breezing, 7th best of 83. Number 4, Release the Beast, finished in the money 10 out of 13 times at the fairgrounds, winning 4 of those races. Ran second in his last race at the fairgrounds, and the trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 5 out of 9 starts. And then number 5, Hooray Austin, a closer that ran second in his last race at 5.5 furlongs and now stretches out to 6 furlongs, which I think will help. The jockey in the last 7 days has a record of 6 starts, 3 wins, and he has a good workout on February 20th.
I like Creole Charlie as my top pick. Does have the top early pace numbers in the field. Ran some of the best quarter mile fractions last time out as the favorite. And I do think that this horse could end up getting a comfortable lead out of the gate. If you look at the horses in the field and their ability to break out of the gate cleanly, looks like Creole Charlie has the best skill at that level. Number 4, Release the Beast, is the first time off a claim for trainer Chris Hartman. He's won 33 of 164 races like that. He's taking a horse out to the track for the first time that has the best late pace figures in this field by a long shot. As I said, Schnell, fast in German. The 6 horse is winner of 2 in a row, 3 of its last 4 races, making its second start off the bench today. And its resume says, if you rewind the past performances, expect more today. And I think this horse will be close to the front all the way around the track. And I like the fact that he does have one good workout in between races. And then finally, number 7, Secret Vista, won its last race by 4 lengths, Terry, which included the top last race speed figure, which was above par for this level. And we saw some really good late race improvement out of number 7. But neither one of those, our last picks, Terry, is going to make it to our hot dog pick 4s, which are races 2, 3, 4, and 5. We both went 3 by 2 by 2 by 3. I threw my 6 in there at the top of race number 2 in hopes to catch a price right out of the gate, because it seems to me from watching these fairgrounds races, there are always prices hitting.
Yeah, that's true. There's some pretty good ones come out of there. So I start with 3, like you said, the 5-1-2, and in the second leg I've got the 5-7. Third leg I have the 7-5, and the fourth leg I have the 3-4-6. And actually, we can only win a hot dog just one way.
One way, only one way. Yep.
One way, yeah. We both have the 1 or 2 in the first race, and the 7 in the second, the 5 in the third, and then any of the 3 in the
then
fourth.
Any of the above after that,
Yeah.
right? That's that whole question from the SATs. Any of the above.
That's right.
Race number 6 brings us to another 1 mile on the turf affair. This one's optional, claiming $30,000. Just to kind of take a look at the profile of a winner and the 10 races that they've run so far. 7 of them were speed horses, only 1 of which, however, went wire to wire. So it looks more like tactical speed to me than actual get out and burn it up speed. 1 through 7 on the post positions play fair. You get a little bit of a penalty if you were an 8 or above. I'm going to take a 8 or above. I'm taking the penalty, and I'm going to go into the box gleefully, Terry, with number 9 as my best bet in here. Cause to Cruise. This horse has the top late pace figures in this field by a lot. As the last time out, ran a speed figure above par for this crew and for this group and for this level. Was a beaten favorite, and trainer Brad Cox had 507 of them in the last year that were beaten as the public's choice. Next time out, 167 of them came back to win, and we saw some really nice early pace improvement in its last. You also have the 9 as your top pick, not your best bet. Walk us through why.
Well, because the number 9 just in his last race missed just by really close, ran second half and had a lot of trouble in that race. And as you said, he has the highest last speed rating. This trainer wins 32% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to race, like you alluded to. And then we're 8 Stitched, won his only turf race at 7.5 furlongs and stretches out now to a mile. Number 2, Practice Squad close to win his only turf race at the fairgrounds. Drops in class today. Trainer in the last 7 days has won 6 out of 14 races and been in the money 10 out of 14. Number 7, Monarch Man, ran a turf race and received the best turf speed among today's starters. And he drops in class today.
Along with my best bet, the 9, I'm going to go with number 2 as my second choice. Practice Squad won its only turf race with ease. It's the first race the horse has taken since December 31st, since New Year's Eve, but got 2 really good workouts getting ready. Horse does have some of the best early pace numbers in the field, which shows up by running the fastest quarter-mile fraction any horse in this field has produced. Number 7, Monarch Man. I say you got to throw out the first race and its last race and look at that lone turf race in the middle. Horse doesn't like dirt, but he seems to like the turf, and he's dropping from $46,000 purse last time out to $25,000. And the story is the same for number 8, Stitched. Just like the 7, dirt race is bad, turf race in the middle good. Ran some really nice sharp quarter-mile fractions last time out. It was the 3rd race in a row that the horse, Stitched, increased its speed figure. And it was a really hard call for me over the 5 on this one. First Glimpse as that would be my first alternative in the event there are some scratches in here. Race number 7 is your best bet, Terry. This race number 7 is 1 1 16th mile. Optional claiming $17,500. Non-winners of 1. And this is a little bit different distance than we've talked about today. They've run 48 races at 1 1 16th on the main track at Fairgrounds. 31 of which were won by early pace horses, 9 of which went wire to wire. There is an inside 3 bias, and 4 through 7 is greater than 8 plus. So clearly there is an inside out advantage. You're going to start here with the number 2 as your best bet, absolutely fitting that inside bias. Why?
Well, Crump ran second versus similar in the last race at today's distance, so we can see that distance is no problem. The trainer wins 26% of the races when he brings back a beaten favorite. And the jock, a good workout on 19th of February at Fairgrounds, 48-1, breezing, 6 best out of 85. And then number 3, Hombrazo. Won his last race at the Fairgrounds, never finished out of the money at the Fairgrounds, so he really likes that track.
Mm-hmm.
Then number 5, and this is hard for me to pronounce, Spegs Super Comet.
Spates Super Comedy? I don't know.
Yeah, I tried to look it up, and it said that it didn't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, on the internet. Anyway, came in from Dubai and won his first race at the Fairgrounds after coming here, and at 6 furlongs. And now he stretches out to 1 16th, which appears in the form from the forum races that he can handle. Mm-hmm. He has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer, and a sharp 4 furlong workout on February 21st, 3rd best is 63. And then number 7, Highland Creek, won his last race at the Fairgrounds, received the highest last speed rating, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a good workout on February 18th, 48-2 breezing, 9th best out of 47.
Well, your last pick is going to be my top pick. Highland Creek has the top early pace. Not only does it have the top early pace numbers, but it also has the top late pace numbers. So if I get in front of you, because I'm faster than you out of the gate, and I have better late kick than you, how do you catch and pass me? And that was on display last time out when the horse ran the top speed figure, last race speed figure above par. And the resume says that the horse likely will improve in its second start off the bench. As you mentioned before, horses that like the distance. This one's run this distance 3 times at 2 seconds and a third. So clearly, distance not a problem here. Hombrazo won the last by 7 lengths. My experience says big races are typically followed by another big race. And we saw some really significant early pace improvement for Hombrazo. Number 1, Cool House. I expect this horse will show more in its second start off a layoff. You see some really good workouts, 3 of them, in fact, between races. Has the top pedigree and some of the fastest fractions that any horse in this field has been able to produce. And then finally, Terry's best bet is my 4th pick, Crump. It really was a hard call not to put this horse higher. And it was also a tough call to put it in front of number 5, Spates, whatever, committee. And then, but the reason I put Crump here and not higher is that the horse could be better second off a layoff for trainer Brendan Walsh, who follows up with a beaten favorite, 29 out of the next 110 out. But I feel like this horse is going to be a little bit behind the pace and might have a tough time catching some of them late. Race number 8 is your box it up, Terry. Race number 8 is again back to 5.5 furlongs. If we again just quickly recap what we started out with on the 5.5 furlongs, you have 6 races, just 50-50 of them. Half of them won by speed, half won by stalkers closers, just 2 of which went wire to wire. And so far, the rail is yet to win, and 4 through 7 outperformed 8, which outperformed 2 and 3. Your box it up, your $1 exacta box, your 50-cent trifecta box, and 10-cent superfecta box with 4 horses includes.
Yeah, number 5, Roman Poet. And the reason I picked this race is I think that these are going to be pretty good odds in here. It's not going to be any really hard favorites, I don't believe. Anyway, Roman Poet ran second versus Similar on the dirt in the last race, and the trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 5 runs. And then number 3, Burn in Hunk of Love. A
little bit of Elvis. Burn,
yeah.
Hunk of Love. Can you do an Elvis impression, Terry?
I did win one on a cruise ship, but it was lip syncing.
So not really.
No, but I still won. And then, anyway, won his debut race at the fairgrounds and heavily bet in that race, and then has a sharp workout on February 20th. Then number 7, Pray for Peace, won last race at the fairgrounds on the turf and has the highest last race speed rating. His best turf speed is faster than any of the starters today.
And appropriate for World Affairs today, too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's true. Trainer in the last 14 days has the record of 6 wins out of 14 races. Then number 6, Pure Panic, won 2 of 6 races on the turf, drops in class today. The trainer wins 21% of the races when going from a route to a sprint, and they added late Lasix today.
Jared says, come on, guys, I need you to do Parks. I have a feeling Jared is in one of those contests today where they have Parks as the race, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's 70. Yeah, so do we. We had him as Tom had him as 3rd pick. I had him as the 4th pick. But if you're looking to do Parks today, you can head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. We have the picks over there. You can get that. And while you're there, if you're also going to play Louisiana Downs, it's free. Just click on it, and you will get the Louisiana Downs picks for today, which hopefully turn out to be pretty strong picks, especially if they're free, right? So head on over there. Make sure you do that for me, Terry, in race number 8. That's where we are, right? Almost at the bottom of the card already. I'm starting off with Pray for Peace. As I mentioned, it is appropriate for where we are right now. This horse has this race has a lot of early speed. I'm usually not a big fan of the horses coming from the maiden win off into the next race, but I feel like when I look at this race, it's going to set up perfectly because you have so much speed. This one will sit right off the pace, probably run by him late as it's tied for the top pedigree. Did run the top last race, speed figure last time out, and that was the 4th consecutive time that the horse ran a better number. Number 5, Roman Poet, making its 3rd start off a layoff. Trainer Thomas Amos is won 33 of the last 137 times he brought a horse to the track the 3rd time after some time in the barn. And if you watch Thomas Amos, he's pretty good at these short turf sprints. Tom, our 22-1 Tom, has pointed that out to me a couple times. Horse has 3 really nice workouts since its last race, has the top early pace figures by a little bit. And in this short race, it's a horse that usually gets the best break of the bunch. Of the 1 and 1A, I like the 1A over the 1, Holiday House. But this one's a closer that's going to be dependent on a fast pace. I do think that's going to happen here. And the lone win came with jockey Adam Bershiza aboard. And I think they're going to send the other entry out to the front to make sure there is a pretty good pace. And then finally, number 6, Pure Panic. It's kind of hard to overlook a horse that ran for $200,000 last time is running for $47,000 this time, especially when it's a horse that has the fastest quarter-mile fractions any horse has been able to produce, and it's getting first-time Lasix. And I'm a big fan of that speed, Lasix angle, and then horse should be better in its 2nd start off a layoff. And it was a tough call for me to put it over the Elvis horse, Burnin' Hunk of Love. Our final race on the Fairgrounds card for today is, of course, race number 9. Race number 9 is 6 furlongs, claiming 10,000, purse of 22 grand. As we've mentioned, they've run a lot of races at 6 furlongs. In fact, 179 of them, 129 by speed horses, 70 going wire to wire, and you get a very strong inside 3 bias. How do you plan on closing out your Fairgrounds card today, Terry?
Well, this is, to me, a pretty wide open race. But I like number 4, Club Soda. Won 3 out of the last 5 races, finishing first in the last race at the Fairgrounds. He has the highest last race speed rating, and the trainer wins 26% of the time the first race after claiming a horse. He has the highest speed rating at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. So he marks off a lot of boxes. Number 1, Chapel Barn, ran second in his last race. The rail post is winning at 23% clip. Number 2, Dino, finished third in his last race, likes the Fairgrounds and the distance. And then number 7, Jack the Ripper. And I don't know why anybody would want to name their horse that. But anyway, Jack the Ripper may improve in the 4th start since layoff, and has an early speed running style that will help the chances.
All right, so let's look for me in this last race, Terry, at Fairgrounds. Yeah. I'm going to start off with number 4, like you, Club Soda. At Fairgrounds, ran 9 times, has 3 wins, 5 seconds, so 8 out of 9, first or second. At the distance, 19 times, 5 wins, 7 seconds, so doesn't mind the distance too. Did run some better fractions last time out. I always find that to be a plus, especially when the horse ran a speed figure above par last time out. Does have the top early pace numbers in this field and does tend to get off to a good break. Even though he did run a pretty good speed figure last time out, that jump, I'm not too concerned about a bounce here because it was in line with some of the other previous speed figures. Number 1, Chapel Barn, is the first off the claim for a friend of the show who came on where we ended up in the winner's circle. Trainer Anthony Farrier. He's won 51 of the last 202 times, first time out after a claim. This is a horse that does have some pretty fast fractions and gets to ride that pretty high win rate rail, as we mentioned. Number 9, Rich Scott Swagger. I mean, it's all in the name, Terry.
Yeah.
But I do absolutely love Robertino Diodoro off the first claim. This is one of 2 horses in the field, making a small drop. Ran for 27 grand last time out, running for 22 grand this time around. And when you look at Robertino, when he drops a horse off the claim like he's doing today, he's won 40 of the last 115 times with that angle. That's a pretty strong number. And finally, the one horse Terry can't understand how anybody would name, Jack the Ripper, 3 consecutive speed figure increases and gets the top jockey down there in Brian Hernandez Jr. Whew. So Jared says he wants a Parks play today. Let's see. Your picks are, yes, our picks are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. At least they are for me. I think that's how Terry does it. Actually, yes. The way I do it a little bit, I do a little bit different. How are you playing exact to try win on the bet for which one? 4197. For me, typically how I bet trifectas is I either take my top 2 picks and then I put them over my top 3 picks, over my top 4 picks, or I'll switch the order and go 3, 2, and then 4. That's typically how I play trifectas. I don't know about you, Terry. How do you play them?
I usually box them to start with, and then I'll take, like you do, my top 2 with my top 4 and my top 4.
So you're looking for a race at Parks. I'm going to look at race number 9 today for you, Jared. I'm going to put number 8, Will to Win, as one of the top picks of the day at the Parks track and back it up with the 6, the 1, and the 7. So race number 9 at Parks, 8 with 6, 1, 7. Keep an eye on that. We'll see how that one plays out. Now, the race number 9, Terry, also completes the prime rib pick 4 for us. So there you go. Oops, is that the prime rib? No, that's the wrong one. Oh, that's the wrong one too. Wrong buttons. There we go. We both took a little bit of a different approach to this race, Terry, to this pick 4 and our ticket construction. You're really counting on the 2 or the 3 in race 7. Why?
I just really like the 2 horse because, as I said before, it's my best bet of the day, And so I think it's going to do really well. And then I don't like the single very often, so I threw in my second pick, number 3, who won his last race at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, I felt like the race 6, the 9, the 2, and the 5 were the best 3 horses. I felt like there was a little race 7. I felt like was the most competitive race, not necessarily the most wide open race, because I think outside of 1 or 2 horses, all the horses are pretty tightly combined. And I actually think a horse scratched there that was like one of the not good horses, so that makes the races even tighter because that one's not in there to Hornswoggle. I think was in race 7 to mess up the pace. I do like the 1A over the 1 in race number 8 in the event that 1 scratches. The 6 would move into where the 1A spot is. And then race number 9, I do like the 4 and the 1, but I got to go with my namesake. I'd hate to lose to Rich Has Got Swagger in my pick 4 at the end. That would just be ridiculous.
It would, yeah.
Be absolutely ridiculous, Terry.
It would be.
So any final thoughts before we get up and out of here today, Terry?
Yeah, well, if you like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at Horse Race the number 2 day. Like us on Facebook at Horse Race the number 2 day, and Instagram on Horse Race at Horse Race number 2 day. I hope everybody has a great day. Had a really fun weekend, especially watching the Rebel. And so you folks take it easy this week and be careful, and good luck to you.
Absolutely, 100%. Good luck to everybody at the track today. 6th the favorite in race number 1 at Parks Legit. Let's see, where do we have the 6th in race number 1? We do have him as our top rated pick, so I would say he's probably fairly legit. If you haven't done so yet, Terry, and you like what you saw besides if you like what you saw here, the number 1 hat, the HRT on the front with the number 1 on the back. Hopefully I styled that up nicely for everybody.
You did a good job.
Horseracingtoday.net. Click on the HRT gear, and there you can find the red number 1, the hat. You see the nice little logo on the side right there for HRT. So you're going to look great at the track as you're cashing in, hopefully, some winning tickets that Terry and I put out there.
Yep.
Rubber was okay, but Weak Mojo get kicked by Kentucky bid out his pooper. I just think that the surface made a big difference in the Rebel. All that sloppiness and really difficult to tell what that race is going to translate to. Right? You got to plug the swag, Jared. I mean, it's one of the everything we do around here comes for free, so we got to make a little bit of money home, and we tried our best to make it look good too. So I think if you go to the track, it's going to look nice.
Yeah, mine's coming today or tomorrow, I guess. So.
Ojo is a pooper for Kentucky bid. Yeah, I think he probably isn't going to be a competitor in the Kentucky Derby, but you don't know until they run the race, right? Because you could end up with a lot of speed in the Kentucky Derby, like you saw with Giacomo, and then a horse that gets way off the pace. That's his typical running style, gets the perfect setup and can bring it home. So we'll see what the field looks like. If you haven't done so, you can keep up with our Chris Parmalu. He's been keeping up great detail of the Kentucky Derby so far. You'll find all of his stuff over at horseracingtoday.net. Make sure you get on over there and check that out. You got him at 31. You smile happy at 35-1. Yeah, I like him too, but I didn't like that last race too much when he ran against Epicenter. He did make some ground up, so maybe the extra distance in the Derby helps out. But the Derby tends to favor at least the winner horses that get out to the front. Any other commentary, Terry?
No, just like I said, be good and tell all your loved ones that you love them. That's a good thing to do.
Indeed. And hopefully all of let's run through the picks real quick one more time, Terry. This is what we usually do at the end just to make sure for those of us joining us late. Here's our full card picks at Fairgrounds. You can see Terry's best bet is in race 7. Mine is in race number 6. Here is our box it ups: $1 exacta boxes, 50-cent trifecta boxes, 10-cent superfecta boxes. Terry did his in race 8. I did mine in race number 5. Our hot dog pick 4 starts in race number 2 for both of us. And then our prime rib, where we spend a little bit more money, in race number 4. That wraps up today's show, Terry. Hopefully you have Epi at 30-1. Yeah, I think he's got a pretty good shot to do it. if you guys are ever in my neighbor in New York, yeah, I plan on heading out to New York this summer to go to Saratoga, and yeah, we'll stop by Belmont. I used to live in the Poconos, Jared. Spent a lot of time up in New York City as a young kid. We would drive into the parking lot of Pocono Mountain High School, and then my buddies and I would gather around my car, and we decided, if based upon the weather, if we were going to go to school or if we were going to go somewhere else. And a lot of those times, those days ended up in New York City. So I'm more than glad to go back and visit the Big Apple area and say hello to some of the members of our community. Right, Terry?
That's right. Sounds great.
All right. So that was the longest end in the show's history. Everybody, we hope that you have a fantastic Monday and that all of your picks and your day end up in J. Marco's
Winner's Circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Monday. Terry and I will be back tomorrow with our Parks picks. We'll see you at 12 noon tomorrow, tonight at 8 o'clock with Julie Crone and Swiss Army Sean.